Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into a stack of sources all about Archicad and its multi-window capabilities.
That's right.
The big question you sent us is really about working with different views. You know, your floor plan, maybe a 3D view, a section, having them open at the same time.
Yeah, that simultaneous workflow question.
Exactly. Can you truly work on them simultaneously, seeing changes update like live across all of them? Let's unpack what these sources actually reveal.
Okay, so what the sources make immediately clear is that Archicad absolutely lets you open lots of different view types.
Right.
Floor plans, 3D, sections, elevations, details, worksheets. You can have them in separate windows. You can undock them, resize them, arrange them manually, side by side or tiled.
So you can see different parts of your project all at once.
Definitely. On one screen, or even stretched across multiple monitors if you have them.
Okay, so you can see multiple views, visually arrange them, but here's where it gets, well, really interesting. The sources all point out this fundamental characteristic. Only one window can be truly active at any single moment for modeling or editing.
That's the key distinction.
Yeah.
That's where the actual design work happens.
And there's also that specific limitation. They mention only one floor plan window and one 3D window open per project at the same time.
Right, even if you have other view types open alongside, like sections or elevations.
So that difference between seeing views and only actively editing in one place, that leads to the core issue, doesn't it?
It does. The main takeaway is change you make in that active window. They don't just automatically pop up live in the other open windows.
Ah, okay.
Those inactive views, they need you to manually click on them. You have to activate them to force an update.
Gotcha.
And what's fascinating, the sources really highlight this. It's a major point of discussion for users, especially maybe folks coming from other software.
Like Revit, perhaps.
Yeah.
Where multi-view updates might work differently.
Exactly, where there might be more integrated real-time sync.
So Archicad's approach isn't designed for that constant real-time synchronization across everything.
Correct, and the sources even mention Graphisoft is aware of this. It's apparently a top-voted wish from users.
Oh, interesting.
But they have it marked as on hold, even describing it as, quote, unachievable in the foreseeable future.
Wow. Okay, so that suggests there are probably some deep technical reasons behind it.
Could be. Maybe tied to performance, especially with potentially huge, complex building models. Archicad needs to stay responsive.
Right. And the sources even note that this lack of live synchronization has sometimes been a sticking point for potential customers.
Yeah, a reason some cited for not choosing Archicad. So the core insight really is that Archicad's multi-window setup is more about arranging and easily accessing different static views, not live linked ones.
Okay, so given that fundamental design choice, how do people work efficiently? The sources must talk about strategies.
They do. They emphasize that efficiency in Archicad really relies on mastering specific workflows and using the program's tools smartly for, like, rapid switching and view management.
All right, if real-time isn't the game, what are some of those smart strategies the sources highlight?
Well, first off, just mastering manual window arrangement, finding layouts that work for your tasks.
Makes sense.
For multi-monitor users on Windows, they mention the common workaround is stretching the main Archicad window across screens.
Oh, the old stretch trick.
Yeah, though Mac users might find it a bit more native just due to how Mac OS handles Windows generally.
Okay, what else?
Crucially, and this is a big one in the sources, always use the view map in the navigator panel when you switch between your saved views.
Not the project map.
No, definitely not the project map for switching prepared views. The view map is vital because it saves and restores all your specific view settings.
Like what?
Things like layer combinations, the scale, graphic overrides, renovation filters, all those display settings that make the view look the way you intended.
Ah, I see. So the project map just shows the raw model structure, but the view map holds the specific look you saved.
Precisely. Using the project map can lead to, frustrating moments where the view suddenly looks completely different because those settings weren't reapplied.
Got it. So it's less about expecting views to update live and more about being really quick and correct in how you jump between different well-defined view states using that view map.
Exactly right. And speed then comes from things like embracing keyboard shortcuts.
Of course.
For rapid navigation switching views, zooming, panning shortcuts are way faster. Also, Archicad's work environment schemes. These are incredibly powerful, according to the sources.
How so?
You can save your specific custom window layouts and your palette positions for different tasks, Maybe one set up for 3D modeling, another for doing detailed drawings, another for layouts.
And then you can just switch between those whole setups.
Instantly, with a single command. It really streamlines switching context.
Okay, that sounds useful. What about getting something that feels a bit more live, maybe for visualization or just checking relationships quickly?
Yeah, the sources do mention integrations with third-party tools.
Yeah.
Specifically, real-time renderers, like Inkscape.
Ah, Inkscape.
Inkscape does have an option, I think it's called Synchronized View,
Okay.
and that will mirror the camera movement between Archicad's active 3D window and the Inkscape viewport. So you get that real-time visual feedback as you navigate in Archicad.
But that's happening in Inkscape, the external application, not within Archicad's own modeling view.
Exactly. It's a visualization link, not a modeling link between Archicad's own windows.
Still good to know that option exists.
Yeah.
Any other practical tips from the sources?
Yeah, it's just a quick performance one. Keep an eye on your open tabs.
Tabs, like browser tabs?
No, Archicad tabs for different views. Having too many open, the sources suggest ideally staying under maybe 6 or 7, and definitely under 20, can actually slow things down.
Why is that?
Because Archicad apparently does some predictive background processing on those open tabs.
Ah, trying to keep them ready to display quickly.
Something like that. So using the preference setting to prefer to open views in an existing tab rather than always opening new ones can help manage that.
Smart. Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, it seems Archicad definitely lets you display and arrange multiple views.
That's
But
it.
the fundamental difference, maybe compared to some other software, is this focus on intentional control. You manually activate a window to make changes and see updates there.
Right. It's not built around automatic real-time synchronization across all open views.
And efficiency within that system comes from mastering that rapid manual switching.
Exactly. Using tools like the view map correctly, getting good with keyboard shortcuts, saving your layouts with work schemes, managing tabs.
And potentially using external visualization tools like Inkscape if you need that dynamic visual feedback loop.
Precisely.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? It really highlights that different software just has different underlying philosophies, doesn't it?
It does. Archicad, based on these sources, seems to prioritize robust, explicit view management and controlled updates, perhaps as part of its strategy for handling performance with large, complex models.
Which leads to an important question for you to consider in your own work.
Yeah, how critical is that true, constant, real-time synchronization across all your views for your specific workflow needs?
Compared to, say, the benefits of a system that's maybe optimized for really fast switching between well-managed, manually updated views?
It's a workflow consideration.
And remember, the sources did point out that this real-time sync is a top-voted wish.
That's right. So your feedback through the official channels to Graphisoft could genuinely help shape where Archicad development focuses in the future.